Hello and welcome to the Functional Tennis Podcast with me, your host, Fabio Molle. Every week I speak to the big hitters in the world of tennis, both on and off the court, about the game and how we can all get 1% better every day at what we do. As an ex-national team player, I know exactly how tough this can be. So I'm on a journey to get the very best tips and advice from the world of tennis. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Functional Tennis Podcast with me, Fabio Molle. This week we have a very special episode. Last November I attended the Asics Tennis Summit in Marbella, and while I was there I was lucky enough to speak with several tennis pros about how to get 1% better every day. Later on the show you'll hear me chat to Harriet Dart and Petra Marcinko, but first I met WTA top 60 player Jasmine Paolini. In our chat, Jasmine tells me about the greatest challenge she encountered in her tennis journey and how she overcame it. Jasmine also gives some good advice on the importance of patience and why enjoying what you do is the key to constant improvement. I hope you enjoy. Jasmine, we're here at the Asics event in Marbella. You are part of Team Asics, and to be part of Team Asics, you got to be one of the best tennis players in the world. So congrats on what you've done. But I have a question for you. Being one of the best players in the world requires persistence and staying at it. How do you stay persistent and make sure you're getting 1% better every day?
It's not easy. I mean, it's a work every day. You have to step on the court and give your best. You have to train also in the gym. You have to do a lot of things. You have to be consistent when you are playing the match. You have to stay healthy with your body, and it's never easy. But I mean, we all trying to do our best, and I think that's the key.
And what really gives you the drive? Like, why do you play tennis?
Because I like it. I started because I enjoyed to play. For me, it was funny. It was fun and was a game. Now it's my job, but still I like it. I have passion for it. So I feel like I'm very how can I say, I'm very privileged to play tennis as a job.
And look, to get 1% better every day requires discipline. How do you stay disciplined, and what advice do you have for people who want to develop their discipline who aren't so disciplined?
It's not easy because sometimes you are tired, sometimes maybe you lose few matches, you want to, oh my God, why I'm playing tennis. But of course, my family, my coach, my fitness coach, everybody who is near me helps me. And, sometimes you have just to switch off a little bit the mind from tennis maybe and just rest a few days and then again start working and try to improve, but it's not easy.
No. And tell me, when you do want to switch off, like off season, I'm sure you're busy doing pre-season, but what do you do to enjoy yourself, just to take a bit of time off and not worry about tennis?
Yes. I was in Dubai for holiday. Usually I go there because I like it. It was warm, it was really good week. I was there with my boyfriend, so we enjoy. We didn't play tennis. And I think it was a week where I switched off the mind from tennis, and then I started the preseason. It's going good. I mean, I'm tired, so it's going good.
And does your boyfriend play tennis?
Yes.
Good?
Yeah. No, I mean, not like me, not professional, but he used to play when he was a child and when he was a teenager, and then he stopped, and then now he's trying to play again to beat me.
Yeah, that was my question. Does he try and beat you?
Yeah, but we have to do one set. I think I'm gonna beat you, but he thinks the opposite, so we will see.
It could be over after. It could be over. So sometimes, obviously, it's important to slow down, and as we just talked about, and balance the hard work with the rest. Yeah. And you have to be patient. Now, are you a patient person?
No, but you have to, because sometimes you do things really well outside the court, but then maybe you step in the match and you could not do the things that you did in the practice. So you have to be patient and to keep trying, and then at the end, for sure, they are coming in the match.
So is patience is a really important characteristic to have to be a top athlete?
Yes, because I think, in tennis, because you play every week, I think sometimes things can go how you want, but if you keep trying, you have also always the chance to play. And maybe in other sport, when you have Olympics, you have to be patient because you have to wait the goal,
Yeah. And obviously, to get to where you've gotten the world, top 60, top 70 in the world at the minute, it hasn't been all straight up there. You've had some challenges along the way. And can you tell us about some of the toughest challenges you've had and how you've managed to overcome them?
Yes, I mean, I remember when I was maybe 18 or 19, then I decided to stop to train at the federation. So, I have to organize myself at home. So organize coach, pay by myself for the coach, and wasn't easy because I was also dropping with the ranking. My ranking was dropping, so it was a very difficult period for me. But then I realized that if I'm gonna do things good, and if I'm gonna feel good with my coach and my fitness coach, my parents, everything, the ranking is gonna come up, came back. And from there, I mean, the other period then was difficult was when I was in the quali of the Grand Slams and I couldn't qualify. I was like, oh my God, still here.
How long did it take you to break through for your first slam quali?
I don't know. I remember that was Roland Garros. And then after maybe, I don't know, 7 months, I was in top 100, maybe. I don't remember exactly, but I think so.
What was that feeling like when match point? Obviously, tell me, match point and after match point.
I remember I was like 6-1 or 6-2, 5-1. And I was like 5-2, 5-3.
Oh no.
5-4, and I was like, oh my God, I'm
Chance
shaking.
gone.
Yeah, oh my God, now they're sad. I was playing Ellie Kick from US, and finally I won 6-4, and I was,
relief.
Yes, relief, yeah.
I'd say it was an amazing feeling though.
Yeah.
I'd say it's easier after that.
Yeah.
And do you remember breaking the top 100? Was that a match or were you
playing? I remember that I was October or November, and was the last two tournaments in Asia, was in Shenzhen in China and 100K in Tokyo. And I remember that the only chance to get into main draw in Australia was to play well these two tournaments. So I made first semi-final, and the second one, the only chance was to make or another semi-final or final, I don't remember. I made final. I was like, oh yes.
Party.
Yes, because it changed a lot to be in Grand Slam or to be in quali, because the quali are so difficult, so many players playing good, and there are three rounds, so it's not easy.
And it's a guaranteed paycheck and your main draw.
Yeah, of course.
Which is nice. So, my final question is, functional tennis, we're all about getting 1% better every day. So what advice do you have for people to be 1% better every day?
To enjoy what they do. I mean, in not only in sport, but in every single things they do, because I think to enjoy is the key. And to enjoy it, to put passion in it, and to try to set maybe some goals, to try to be focused on it, not like, oh, I'm going to play tennis. Yes, but you have to have the goal, where you want to go. If not, it's like kind of, oh, I'm playing just to enjoy. I mean, you have to enjoy, but still with a goal.
And what were you like as a junior? Were you a good junior tennis player?
Normal. I mean, I was, I think like 50, 60, something like that, but not I mean, I was okay, not special, but not also like no ranking, it's normal.
Did you consider going to college in the States?
No.
No. Did you know I want to be professional and that's it?
Yeah. And for me, I don't know, when I was 18, I received some messages from Facebook, they asked me, but I never considered because, maybe now I will say maybe I could go. But at that moment, for me was something too difficult, to go in another country, another language. Oh, I want just to play tennis. I want to be professional. Now, maybe I can say you could maybe not going there, but you could consider that. At the time, I didn't consider at all.
But you picked the right road.
I'm happy. I'm happy. But I know that I was scared about to be in another country, another language, and that's why I didn't consider.
Okay, well, congratulations on picking the right stuff. And thanks a lot. I hope you get your bag to play some tennis tonight. You may not. We need to find a Yonex racket somewhere. Yeah, but thank you very much.
Thank you.
That was great. Thank you, Jasmine, for sharing your time on the show. Next up, I met with British number 2 and WTA top 100 player Harriet Dart. In our conversation, Harriet tells me about the importance of discipline, why patience doesn't come naturally to her, but anyone can develop it, and how accepting you're human can help you overcome challenges and ensure you're on track to achieve long-term success. Take a listen. Welcome to the Asics event. You're one of the best players in the world, and to become part of Team Asics, you got to be one of the best players in the world. So my first question to you is, becoming the best requires persistence, and that requires becoming 1% better every day. And we're all big about being 1% better every day. So what do you do every day to be 1% better every day?
Yeah, look, my journey, I think, has been unique, and I would say persistence has been a big word within my career so far. I've been, typically a late bloomer in terms of breaking through. And I just think that shows how much I have been persistent with my everyday, trying to get a bit better, trying to get things, put things out there on the court. I think, I always knew my level was there. It was just about being able to put it together. And I was just really happy that it was able to come together, especially at a big tournament like Indian Wells this year.
And do you think about it every day, saying, okay, we need to do this, keep going, build the blocks? Is it constantly going on in your head? Yeah,
hugely. I mean, naturally as an athlete, you always want to do better, and, you set yourself goals, but at the same time, you always want to go a step further all the time. And I think, I just want to keep pushing those boundaries, especially going into the next year.
Great. To get 1% better every day also requires discipline. Mm-hmm. How do you stay disciplined, and what advice do you have for people who want to develop their discipline?
That is a very good question. Being an athlete, you do need to be disciplined, especially with what you eat, what you're eating, getting enough sleep. There's so many different factors that kind of accumulate into a little box, I always think. But also to live a little bit too, because I think for anyone it's really challenging to be disciplined 110% of the time, and it is important to be human at the same time. But for the majority, I enjoy eating really healthily. I feel a lot better for it. For the average person to be able to make sure they're getting their fresh air, getting good food inside them, because it does make you feel better, and also whether that's playing tennis or some form of exercise, I think that's super important too, and I think it just stimulates you and can get you ready for a really good day.
And has the discipline increased throughout your career? Do you find yourself having to be more disciplined, or naturally you've just become more disciplined? I know you still want to, you have to let loose every now and again, maybe visit Necker Island, have a bit of fun. But do you find you've got better at it?
Yeah, I think also it's different for everyone. But I think at the end of the day, as much as it's discipline, it's also a choice. I have goals, and I have that, there are steps to be able to get towards them, and without discipline I wouldn't be able to get there for sure. So yeah, I also think at the end of the day it's a bit of a choice, whether I want that cake or whether I want some extra carb load so I'm ready for my match tomorrow. But like I said before, you do also have to be a little bit, human, and I exercise a lot, whether that's in the gym or on the court, and I'm burning a lot of calories, so getting the right fuel inside me is really important. So the extra calories are needed.
Great. Of course, like sometimes it's important to slow down and balance hard work with rest, as you've talked about. But would you say you're a patient person? And if so, what role has patience played in your career?
I'm definitely not a patient person, but I think I want everything to happen quickly, and that isn't always the case. And I think good things come when you're kind of least expecting it, and also it's a process of the journey. I'm definitely not a patient person, and I'm not very good at taking rest, so my fitness trainer always gets a little bit annoyed with me that I don't properly switch off. I've always got things on my mind, I'm always doing something, or I do find it hard to just kind of sit on the sofa, but I've got a lot better at it over the years.
And what about patience on the court? There's times where you have to be, is that a different sort of patience, or like a patience not to pull the trigger too early? Do you see that the same or different? Yeah,
it's slightly different on the court, but I would also say that discipline comes into on court as well. Yeah. You obviously when you're on the court, there's lots of challenges that you face. Your opponent plays really well and the racket's kind of taken out of your hand. Usually, like I said, not to pull the trigger too early down the line, or playing a drop shot from 5 meters behind the baseline. And when you've been out there for 3 hours, sometimes it can be really challenging. But at the same time, these are life lessons that you learn. That's what I think, on the tennis court, I'm learning life skills as well. And when you're in the heat of the battle, 4-all in the third, when you've played for 3.5 hours, that's kind of the crunch time, isn't it? Where you really see what people are made of, and that's where you see the likes of the top players. Their level goes up, and that's why they're the top players.
Okay. And obviously, again, you're one of the best players in the world, and it's taken a lot of challenges along the way, lots of ups and downs. For you, what's been the toughest challenge you've encountered over the years as a professional athlete, and how did you overcome it?
Yeah, everyone's different, but for me, my challenges have been injuries and some personal stuff, and I think it's important to remember that everyone's human and that you can get through anything, and that setbacks will only make you come back stronger, and it makes you more hungry, and that's definitely been the case with me. It's fueled me more to do better, and to nail that rehab or whatever it is that I'm doing, and just channel it in a way of kind of the long-term goal, and just keep coming back to that, and that kind of keeps me in the moment.
Great, because it can get other people down, can't it? The constant injuries or other issues can just take people away from the game. So I think you're one or the other, aren't you, really? And
yeah.
You're obviously a fighter and determined to hit those goals. Last question. Functional tennis were big about being 1% better every day. A bit like the Kaizen principles at Asics, where there's constant involvement, constant improvement. What advice do you have for people to maintain on that journey to become 1% better every day?
Get up in the morning, make sure you make your bed. That's a big staple. I remember my sister, when she moved in with me, I set some ground rules quite early on. But you feel like you've accomplished something by just doing small tasks every day. And I think it's also the consistency of doing those tasks, and whatever that is that you set yourself to do. Mine is, getting up in the morning, making my bed, having my morning coffee, eating my breakfast. And then I'm ready to start my day with a clearer mind, and coffee helps that too.
And what happens if you miss your coffee and you don't get your bed? Do you bring it back to that moment? You say, "Oh, I just had a bad start," or you just don't let it happen?
I try and not let it happen, but sometimes, certain circumstances can happen. But if it does, to not be overwhelmed by a situation, but just stay in the moment and focus on what you can control. Because at the end of the day, it's you versus you to get better.
Yeah. Well, Harriet, thank you very much.
Thank you.
The answers were great, so thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
That was excellent. Thank you, Harriet, for speaking with me. This is just a quick reminder you're listening to Functional Tennis, the podcast that helps you get 1% better every day. With me, Fabio Molli. And now my final guest for today's episode is 17-year-old Croatian tennis player Petra Marcinko, who is making the transition from junior to senior tour. She was the 2022 Australian Open Junior Champion and she was world #1 junior. In our quick chat, I asked Petra about the greatest challenges she's encountered in her short career so far. Petra gives her advice on how to overcome setbacks, and she also tells me that showing up every day is the key to her improvement. Enjoy. Petra, hello.
Hello.
Welcome to this great Asics event here in Marbella. And in order to be here, in order to be part of Team Asics, you got to be one of the best tennis players in the world. They don't consider anybody else. So you obviously done something right. You were the junior Australian Open champion last year, which is amazing. Now you're starting your senior career, which is exciting. And look, to be one of the best in the world, you have to be persistent, staying at it. How do you stay persistent and make sure you're getting 1% better every day?
Well, yeah, first of all, like to be invited to, this kind of meeting with Asics, to be one of these players here, it's a big thing. So, as I said, I was doing something right. I'm just trying to keep my focus on tennis at the most, trying to give everything on every practice, as soon as I walk into the court to start giving all of myself out. So that's how I'm improving day by day.
Okay, great. And of course, you know that sometimes it's important to slow down and balance hard work with rest. How would you say, would you say you're a patient person? And if so, talk to us about a time where you've been patient.
Well, yeah, it's for sure you need to balance it, the rest and the hard work. I had a few times where I didn't, so I got injured. I am not really the most patient person ever. So, but I'm trying to stay, as patient as I can, maybe, let's say, on some tennis matches and when I do really need it. So I just sometimes focus with myself, but I need to really think about it if I want to keep being patient.
Do your trainers give out to you and say, you're training too much? Does that ever happen because you're so impatient?
No, it was like one situation where I told my dad, like, come on, I want to train more. He was like, no, Petra, you're so young. You don't need to train more and stuff like this.
But you do realize on court then you do need patience to, not pull the trigger at the right time, not go for that big forehand too early. And
yeah, definitely. Definitely. I know I do need it and I'm working on it.
And to get better, to get 1% better every day requires discipline. How do you stay disciplined and what advice do you have for people who want to develop their discipline?
Yeah, I think discipline is one of my good sides. I always never have a problem with practicing or with being on court or doing some extra stuff. So it's really something that you need to have to become a good player, to become good in anything. Basically, you need to have discipline. So it's a very important part you need to be focused on.
And have you always been disciplined?
Well, honestly, yeah. Since I was a kid, I just have it in me. I was just always focused and disciplined since I was little, so. And
you make your bed every morning?
No, that's no. I'm disciplined on tennis. My personal life is on the whole opposite.
Okay, well, at least you know where it's important to be.
Where it's on tennis court, I'm very disciplined, but outside, it's completely different.
Best. And tell me, are you studying at all or doing any school work?
Yeah, I'm third grade of high school now, so I'm going to school every day when I'm at home. Okay. But when I'm not like this, I usually do just some stuff online. Okay, great.
And look, to become a great tennis player, you've had to overcome some challenges, I'm sure. Can you give me an example of a tough challenge you've had to overcome?
Okay, so basically I would say first example, this year I had so basically I wanted to take few weeks off of tournaments and then do pre-season summer. And then I did it, and just as I was supposed to start to play tournaments, I got injured.
Okay.
So that was pretty tough, and I was not playing for some time, and it was not even not playing tennis, it was not playing tournaments. So when I was coming back, I had some problems, with my physical and my mental as well, getting into matches after not playing for so long.
Yeah.
so needed time to get back. That
Was that one of your first injuries you've ever had?
Well, one of the serious one, yeah. I mean, I had a few, the small ones that would go away after a week or something, but this one was like more serious, so...
It's a big challenge.
Yeah, it's tough.
Hopefully not too many more.
No, I hope so, no, because it was terrible, without tennis.
And after this injury, did your training change at all? Did you start doing more stuff? I know we talk a lot about preventive exercises and, and mobility, flexibility for the long term of your career. How much of that do you do now? And after you picked up that injury, did you introduce any new stuff into your training to ensure this doesn't happen again?
Yeah, well, I also had this and one other problem, so I'm doing a lot of things to prevent it. My coach just put in more exercises, more everything, and this year I've been actually working a lot more on my prevention and mobilities and stuff, because last year I was getting injuries, but it was just small ones, and now it's better because I just prevented doing this stuff. So.
And let's say you're training tomorrow. How long do you spend before you actually hit your first tennis ball?
Yeah, that depends. Really depends. When I'm in Italy, I usually have at least 1 hour warm up where I do everything. When I'm at home, sometimes I do 15 minutes before court, and sometimes do some stuff at home, also 15 minutes. So it's about an hour or something like this, or half an hour. And
you train at the Piatti Academy in the beautiful Bulgaria region of Italy. One, how long have you been trained there? And two, what's it like working with Riccardo Piatti and his team?
Well, I've been going there since March, and it's basically when I had more time, few weeks, 3-4 weeks between tournaments, I would go there. And it's been really nice. I really like it. I mean, first of all, the city is amazing. It's a really nice place, and the whole team is great. The fitness coach is really great. Riccardo is really great. So they give a lot of focus, to my tennis. So I really like to come there always.
Great, yeah. And you are from Croatia.
Yes.
Where about in Croatia?
In Zagreb.
Okay, nice. So Italy, the life, what's the life like compared to Italy, in that region of Italy and back home? Is it sort of similar?
It's similar. The people in Italy are kind of not too similar, but not too different from Croatians. So it's different life. It's on the coast. It's a bit easier, it's more relaxed, but I like it like that.
And how's Riccardo's Croatian? Because I know he worked with Ivo Karlovic. No, did he work with Ivo Karlovic? No, he worked with Ljubicic. Sorry, he worked with him for such a long time. So is his Croatian good?
No, I just need to learn Italian.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's on my part. Yeah, it's easier for me to learn Italian than for someone to learn Croatian. And
a question I have for you: for functional tennis, we're about getting 1% better every day. Just that. Bit of like the Asics philosophy, the Kinzan philosophy. What advice do you have for people to get 1% better every day?
Well, as I said, some of the things, you have to be, first of all, disciplined, and you have to be focused. You have to work hard. I think this is the most important. You have to be on the court every day, and when you are there, you have to give everything. It's the only way to improve.
Nice. And finally, when you're not on court, you say life's a bit messy. What do you like to do to, let off some steam and just enjoy yourself and just get away from it all?
Well, yeah, I don't have much free time, to be honest, but I like to, sometimes I like to, when I go home, so I can hang out with my family, with my sister, mom, and dog. I like to hang out with my friends sometimes. I like to read books when I'm off court. So things like this, little things, to keep my mind off tennis sometimes.
Nice. And is back home Zagreb for you? Or is that where your home is?
Yeah, in Zagreb, yeah.
Nice. Okay. Well, look, best of luck next year. I heard you're going to be... Are you in qualies for Aussie Open? What's your current ranking now?
I'm 188.
Okay.
Like
and
this.
How old are you?
Just turned 17.
Oh wow, it's a pretty good place to
be.
So
you.
So hopefully next year's a big year, and by Wimbledon you'll be main draw.
Hope so. Hope so.
Great. Well, okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And we'll chat soon.
Perfect. Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed this special episode of Functional Tennis. Thank you, Asics, for hosting an awesome event in Marbella. And of course, thank you to Jasmine, Harriet and Petra for taking the time to chat with me. Next week on the podcast, I speak with former player, massage therapist and founder of the tennis tour agency, Matteo Tonelli. In this episode, Matteo explains the purpose behind the TTA and why he wants to make going pro more accessible for younger players. Matteo also shares his advice on overtraining and the key to returning back from injury. I'll see you there next week. Just a few quick notes before we go. Make sure to follow the show so you get automatically notified about new episodes wherever you listen to podcasts. If you would like to learn more about me or the work we do at Functional Tennis, visit our website at functionaltennis.com. You can also follow the show on Instagram at the Functional Tennis Podcast and with me on Twitter, Fab Mall. This podcast is produced by One Fine Play. James Bishop is the executive producer. Connor Foley is the series producer. Kazra is our superb audio engineer and editor. I've been your host, Fabio Male. Thanks for listening to the Functional Tennis Podcast.